Apoptosis. Apoptosis is a pathway of cell death that is induced by a tightly regulated suicide program, in which cells destined to die active enzyme capable of degrading the cell's own nuclear DNA and nuclear and cytoplasmic proteins. Fragments of the apoptic cells then break off, giving the appearance that is responsible for the name. The plasma membranes of the apoptotic cell remains intact, but the membrane is altered in such a way that the cell and its fragments become avid targets for phagocytes. The dead cell is rapidly cleared before its contents have leaked out, and therefore cell death by this pathway does not elicit an inflammatory reaction in the host. Thus, apoptosis differs from necrosis. However, apoptosis and necrosis sometimes coexist, and apoptosis induced by some pathological stimuli may progress to necrosis. Course of apoptosis. Death by apoptosis is a normal phenomenon that serves to eliminate the cells that are no longer needed, and to maintain a steady number of viral cell population in tissues. It's important in the following physiological situations: the programmed destruction of cells during embryogenesis, involution of the hormone-dependent tissue upon hormone deprivation, such as regression of the lactating breast after weaning, cell loss in proliferating cell population, such intestinal corrupt epithelium, so as to maintain a constant membrane, death of cells that have served their useful purpose, such as the neutrophils in the acute inflammatory reaction. Cells undergo apoptosis because they are derived from necessary survival signals, such as growth factors. Elimination of potentially harmful self-reactive lymphocytes. Cell death induced by cytotoxic T lymphocytes, a defense mechanism against virus and tumors that serves to kill and eliminate virus-infected and neoplastic cells. Apoptosis eliminates cells that are genetically altered or injured beyond repair without eliciting a severe host reaction, thus keeping the damage as contained as possible. Death by apoptosis is responsible for loss of cells in a variety of pathological states. DNA damage. If repair mechanism cannot cope with the injury, the cell triggers intrinsic mechanisms that induce apoptosis. In this situation, eliminating of the cell may be a better alternative than risking mutation in the damaged cell, which may progress to malignant transformation. Accumulation of misfold protein. Improperly folded proteins may arise because of mutation in the genes or extrinsic factors. Excessive accumulation of this protein culminates in apoptotic death of cells. Cell injury in certain infections, particularly viral infection, in which loss of the infected cells is largely due to apoptotic death that may be induced by the virus or by the host immune response. Mechanisms of apoptosis. The fundamental event in the apoptosis is the activation of enzyme called caspase. Activated caspase cleave numerous targets, culminating in activation of nucleols that degrade DNA-made or enzymes that presumably destroyed nucleoproteins and the cytoskeleton protein. The activation of caspase depends on the finely tuned balance between pro- and anti-apoptotic nuclear pathway. Two distinct pathways converge on caspase activation. The mitochondrial pathway of apoptosis. Intrinsic apoptotic stimuli activate a group of sensors, some of which are members of the BCL2 family. in turn activate two pro-apoptotic members of the family called BAX and BAC, which dimerize, insert into the mitochondrial membranes, and form channel through which cytochrome C and other mitochondrial proteins escape into the cytosol. Cytochrome C, together with some cofactors, activates caspase 9, triggering execution caspase activation, while other proteins of the BCL2 family blocked activities of caspase antagonists the function as physiological inhibitors of apoptosis. The dead receptor pathway of apoptosis. The prototypic dead receptor are the type 1 TNF receptor and the FAS. FAS ligand is a membranous protein expressed merely on activated T lymphocytes. When this T cell recognized FAS expression targets, FAS molecules are cross-linked by the FAS ligand, and they bind adaptose protein, which in turn bind caspase 8, clustering of many caspase molecules to their activation, thus initiating the caspase cascade. Similar protein, notably a caspase antagonist called FLIP, block activation of caspase downstream of the dead receptors. Interestingly, some viruses produce homologous of FLIP to keep infected cells alive. Clearance of the apoptotic cell. Apoptotic cell undergoes several changes in the membranes and secrete soluble factors that promote their phagocytosis. This facilitated prompt clearance of the dead cell before they undergo secondary membrane damage and release the cellular contents. Morphology. In HE-stand tissue section, apoptotic cell may appear as round or oval masses with intense eosinophilic cytoplasm. Nuclei show various stages of chromatin condensation and aggregation, and ultimately characterizes at the molecular level. This is reflected in the fragmentation of DNA into nucleosome-sized pieces. The cell rapidly shrink, form cytoplasmic buds, and fragment into apoptotic bodies composed of membrane-bound vessels of cytosomes and organelles. Because these fragments are quickly extruded and phagocytosed without eliciting an inflammatory response, even substantial apoptosis may be histological undetectable. That's all for this section. Thank you.